Did you know that water heaters are typically the second highest source of energy usage in your home? They generally account for 12 to 18% of your overall energy dollars. Dustin Engerer from Hanna Plumbing and Heating has joined us to talk about the benefits of a smart water heater. Dustin, thanks for joining us. Homeowners have several choices when it comes to water heaters. What are the most common?
I'd say most houses around here, you're gonna see one of two types. It's generally a tank type, whether it be gas-fired or electric, or a tankless style that heats water instantaneously.
We have the traditional conventional water heater versus a smart water heater. Talk to us about the differences there.
Main difference is really how it heats water and stores water, if it stores water at all. A tank style has a set volume of water, 40, 50 gallons, 75, even bigger, but it's a set amount of water that it heats, via electricity or a burner. Whereas a tankless style has a more efficient heat exchanger and heats water instantaneously as it passes through. So it doesn't store any hot water at all, so it doesn't have to keep a volume of water warm all the time.
Let's go into a little more depth in terms of the real benefits, the major benefits of a smart water heater.
It's the efficiency. It's not having to keep that volume of water hot all the time. It's having it on demand. A lot of newer tankless water heaters have Wi-Fi capabilities, apps. You can, watch them on. You can measure their performance as they're going. You can see the amount of gas, electricity you're using, the volume of water you're using. You can cycle them down at different times if need be. You can control them remotely if need be. It's just an efficiency thing, and get a better idea of what's going on in your water heater without having to be there in front of it.
That technology is really amazing when you think about it. I know you were showing on you got an app on the phone, right?
Yeah, I can watch the performance of a water heater from anywhere. Once it's synced to Wi-Fi, you can bring it up wherever you're at, see what's going on. You could control it if need be. And that's not completely set to tankless water heaters. There's add-on modules depending on the compatibility of your water heater. Let's say you got a water heater that's good condition, functioning fine, but you want a little more control. Some water heaters have the capability to have an add-on module like that, and you can monitor it the same way.
Dustin, talk to us about that add-on module and how that might work.
The one I put on, just here, it was a real plug and play. Took about 5 minutes. You got to go through settings to enable it. And once it's enabled, it's just a simple download of an app, and it syncs to your home Wi-Fi, and there it is. It's right there. It was a real 10-minute job once you read the instructions, knew what you were doing, and you just have that much more control at your fingertips. I would say most, conventional tank style water heaters, they don't really have any kind of control like that at all. In that sense, they're a lot simpler. So if that was something you're wanting, you'd probably be looking at an upgrade. There are hybrid tank systems that are computer controlled, but generally you'd be looking at switching to a tankless style that has those capabilities.
How does a homeowner know when it's time to upgrade on a water heater?
Well, performance would be coming through. Obviously a leak, the tank styles will eventually, depending on location, water quality, will eventually rot out. That's generally the failures you see. And at that point, it's the time to kind of consider your home's needs, what you need for hot water and whatever, and that might be the time that, an upgrade to a tankless style and to do the work to have that in there might be the right choice. You're already needing a replacement, maybe it's time to upgrade if you want those added controls and benefits of a tankless.
The installation of a water heater, is it best to leave to a professional like yourself?
I would definitely do that. You're dealing with water damage, the potential of that, and you're dealing with natural gas and or electricity. And with any of those arises, if you try it on your own, you're kind of left to your own devices, whereas professionals, what we're doing, we do this every day. We know how to do things safe, and we know how to keep your house safe and intact. So I think in the end, professional installations pays for itself.
We're always interested on PowerHouse when we're talking about adding maybe a tankless water heater. Can you give us kind of a ballpark range, just kind of ballpark minimum maybe to maximum?
I would say, it's going to depend on your location, where you're at, the type of water heater, everything. But generally speaking, I'd say maybe 2 to 2.5 times the cost of a conventional tank style water heater when you're doing the retrofit. you know, and then let's say down the road, you know, 20 years down the road, you wanted to swap out. Well, a lot of that retrofit work would already be done, so it might be a little less than that, but I would say to budget for 2 to 2.5 times a conventional water heater.
Are you seeing more tankless water heaters coming in?
Yeah, as time goes on, and you know, maybe the way people are, you know, we're getting more open to tech and letting the tech take, you know, some of the conveniences to the next level. And I would say as time goes on, yeah, I see more and more of them.
Well, Dustin, you've given us a lot of great information regarding water heaters. Thanks for sharing that with us. And if you'd like to learn more about water heating efficiency, go to our website at PowerHouseTV.com and AlliantEnergy.com.
The first automatic storage tank type gas water heater was invented around 1889 by a Norwegian mechanical engineer who immigrated to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His name was Edwin Rood, and Rood Manufacturing Company is still in existence today.